Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video continuing our Dragon Ball Heroes grind. We're going to be using my boy Jeets, Super Saiyan Xeno Vegeta. He is rainbowed, he's actually almost level 10 links. When did I start link leveling him and then obviously stop? Okay, well I didn't actually know that. I didn't know that I started link leveling him, got him very close to being finished and then stopped. Okay, the more you know. The more you know. But a unit I do actually have dupes in. We are still on the Heroes team. Vegeta is primarily a support. I do also have Xeno Goku on the team. That's purely to trigger some links with Jeets. And Goku will just be chilling in slot 3. But in terms of start of turn numbers, for a unit that's primarily a support unit, he's looking very strong. 473k attack stat, 288k defense, and Vegeta is also a stacker. 50% attack and defense every time he super attacks, infinitely stacking. Does also greatly lower enemies' attack as well. Starts the turn with attack and defense plus 150%. He does have guaranteed guard for this first turn, but of course he's in slot 2, so it doesn't really matter too much. Starting with a 7 million attack stat, I can't lie, for a support unit, that's a good start. And considering he's going to stack by 50% each time, well, as you saw there, his attack stat is going to leap up. He jumped up by a whole 5 to 600k. Could have got 2 more stacks there, but we unfortunately didn't get them. So he's actually going to be able to stack fairly quickly. But that guard and that guaranteed additional we got is only for 1 turn from the character's entry. It would have been nice if he kept the guard to go with the stacking. But again, as we've already seen from all of these heroes EZA and also just using Trunks, heroes units, they have a very low ceiling. There's only these units are only going to get you so far. They've only been made this good on purpose, and I wish they were better, especially with this being the final celebration. Jeets also does gain an additional attack and defense plus 150 when there is another Vegeta's Family or Heroes category ally on the team, which he's permanently going to have because we are on a Heroes team. Trunks is technically both, but the team is packed out with Heroes units. Vegeta's Family category units will also gain key plus 3, attack and defense plus 50%. So if you do want to use him elsewhere, which is definitely possible, because it's very easy to put a Vegeta's Family unit on the team, you could say use him on Vegeta's Family. You know, you do have Saiyan Day Vegeta, Pure Saiyans, and there's also Super Saiyans. Now, the only problem is, Super Saiyans is one of the most stacked categories in the entire game. However, it has some of the best units in the entire game. When you're looking at the worldwide LR with the Fizz SSA trio, you could bring Saiyan Day Jeets with you. There you go. There's your Vegeta's Family unit for Xeno Jeets to actually get his buff. But then he'll also support any other Vegeta unit you put on the team, or any other Vegeta's Family unit you put on the team, which may not be many. That is one of the better units, or the better categories you can actually use this Xeno Jeets on outside of, say, Dragon Ball Heroes. So I do actually like that. I like that a lot, that he can be used elsewhere. But he is actually supporting Trunks right now. We're already up to a 946k attack stat and 672k defense. That's pretty good. I can't lie, that's pretty good. And again, this is because Jeets stacks 50% on both attack and defense every time he supers. But then carrying on his passive, he does gain an additional attack plus 77% on super, and will launch already up to 8.265. Go on, get an additional. 8.85. Another one. Another one, call me DJ Khaled, 9.43. Like, don't get me wrong, he might not do the most damage, but I can't lie, it is impressive of how fast he is stacking up. But still, as I said, he does get that 77% attack on super. He will launch an additional attack. There's a 50% chance to become a super if there's another Dragon Ball Heroes category ally attacking in the same turn, or when attacking an extreme class enemy, which is quite easy to come up against. I mean, naturally, I don't think you're going to be using these Heroes EZAs, or at least the majority of them, in the most difficult content in the game, which are actually superclass enemies, but you're not going to use them there regardless. But then, even then, it doesn't really matter, because not only are you not going to actually use them there, but also, more than likely, you're going to be running them with another Heroes unit, especially once we actually get the Heroes banner drop, because those units are going to be a lot better than the EZAs. Last year's unit, especially Limit Break Rescue J4 Vegeta, was ridiculously good. So I'm hoping the same could be said for like most of the units this year, because then it can also give a lot of these EZAs a bit more value. You know, we're using these EZAs, don't get me wrong, on paper and for what I'm seeing of them being used, even though I'm only 2 units deep out of the 6 I have. I said they definitely have their limit. They definitely have their own lane and their level. But that doesn't mean that the new units they're going to be dropping on the banner can't help some of these more usable units than others and actually be somewhat usable or just getting by when it comes to difficult content. So we'll have to see. Jeets is already up to 1.8 million attack stat. He's been about on what, 2 turns? 2 turns. And he's already got 1.17 million defense. And this is without guard. Can you imagine if that guard wasn't for 1 turn and it was permanent? This Xeno Vegeta, and actually also Goku as well, to be fair, because Goku has damage reduction and also stacks the same. It would actually make both of them not only very good supports, and commonly most of the good units in the game do fall under being Goku's family and Vegeta's family units. Maybe not separate, but there are a few to make them usable on other categories. Again, Super Saiyan being one of the biggest ones. But the fact he can stack up so quickly, if he had like dodge built in, like 50% chance to dodge, or like 30 to 50% damage reduction or guard, Vegeta would actually be insane. I mean, regardless, he's still stacking up incredibly quickly, and dare I say, Xeno Vegeta is actually better than Trunks. Sure, maybe not damage-wise, because he doesn't have a 70% chance to crit. He doesn't start on like 9-10 million plus super attacks and do multiple of them, or having a 70% chance to crit. But defensively, 100% better than Trunks. I'm not even just saying that because it's a Vegeta. I do actually generally believe he's better than Trunks. Like, it might not be just enough nowadays for the most difficult enemies in the game, but Vegeta's already up to almost 1.2 million defense, just of sheer stats. Nothing else to go with it. I mean, maybe if you gave him pure dodge in the dupe system, dodge and additional, but mainly dodge, it could actually be somewhat viable in some of the most difficult content. Don't get me wrong, a 2.5, 2.7 million plus super attack that we used to will probably get him killed. But bearing in mind, we are 5 turns deep. We haven't actually got lucky enough to have every single additional he does be a super. So he could potentially have been higher. But this is, what, 2, 3 appearances? And Vegeta's already got almost 1.2 million defense. And off of the turn 5 we just had, he's got 1.2 million defense. Or maybe more. So, I can't lie, for a unit that is primarily just a support unit, I'm impressed. Where is he up to now? No, he's higher than I thought. 2.1 million attack, 1.3 million defense. As I said, if he just had a little bit of damage reduction or a little bit of dodge in his passive, Xeno Vegeta would actually be very, very good. I mean, he's still doing very well now, but I'm not going to lie, that small amount of damage reduction I'm talking about and small amount of dodge would generally take him to a whole different level. He's good. I'm not going to lie, off of just purely being a stacker and a support unit, I wasn't expecting him to actually be this good. I knew he'd stack up quickly. I didn't realize he would stack up this quickly. He's actually putting out good numbers offensively as well now. Even though he's not here to deal damage, but his defense is in a very good spot. I'm impressed. Goku's going to perform just the same as well. I mean, you know, the only difference being he has 1 turn damage reduction rather than 1 turn guard. But that 1 turn guard is also very useful. You know, that's when Jeets is going to be at his weakest. That's when he's not going to have stacked whatsoever. It's when you're going to have just started. You know, you want to maintain your HP as much as possible, because everyone is at their most vulnerable, at their weakest, because you've just started an event. That 1 turn guard actually helps him, especially because he's going to be super attacking first. He's going to be naturally in slot 3, where he's more so going to be out of harm's way. But then you have guard and a couple, potentially 2 guaranteed super attacks, and potentially another one, and even a third if you do have dupes in him, or skill orbs attached. So he could potentially super attack between 2 and 4 times on that first turn while having guard active, which I said helps him out a lot, considering that's when he's at his weakest. But overall, I'm impressed. Not only does he support Vegeta's family units, which of course Trunks is with being one of the heroes units and new EZAs, and he can actually be used elsewhere, not just on a heroes category, also Super Saiyans, Bond of Parent and Child, etc. He's actually good. He stacks up quick enough. Like, we're only on turn 8. His next appearance will be turn 9, and you're looking at between 1.4 and 1.5 million defense, which for a unit of his caliber is very, very good. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. So far, he is my favorite. We're only 2 units deep, and I'm not being biased, but he actually has impressed me more than I thought he would. So fair play. Goku's probably going to perform just the same, but as I said, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a great day, and peace.